What's up, Triple Threat Athlete Crew and High Note Performance? Just wanted to drop in real quick and give you a heads up about what's coming up next week. It's going to be some really cool stuff. If you're new here, I'm Ted, and what we really do is focus on all of the stuff that the traditional education and apprenticeship program that exists right now in music completely ignores. Really focusing on the foundation and the walls of your athlete house, because the system that is there is great at building that roof. Your technique, your music history, your music theory, your music knowledge in general, which is all fantastic and you need it, but they completely ignore the walls and the foundation, and that's what we're here for. Your cerebellum and your brainstem, that's all the stuff that controls and interprets all of the information that you get every single day. An easy way to remember that is the ABCs of life: your accuracy, your balance, and your coordination. Now we're gonna spend all next week diving into coordination, starting with a live training on Monday, going into all of the details about why it's just as important for a singer to be coordinated as any other high-intensity Olympic-level athlete that's out there. You're not going to want to miss that. That's going to be 6 p.m. Arizona time on Monday, so 9 p.m. if you're on the East Coast. Keep your eyes peeled for that in the group, or drop me a quick bicep in the comments down below, and we'll make sure to tag you in the video once it goes live. But as a sneak preview, here's the basics of coordination. Now, when you say coordination, most people think of something like a gymnast tumbling across the floor, or a juggler keeping a bunch of balls in the air at the same time. And those are the big, obvious examples of coordination, but really, coordination is anything and everything that you do that involves the outside world or multiple joints at the same time. Think about how much subtle coordination it takes to send a text message. You've got to open your phone. You've got to hit just the right spot on this screen to open your text messaging app. You've got to hit a number of other buttons in just the right spot to spell out the message. And then the send button is really even tinier, so you got to press that specifically too, or else you're going to get a whole bunch of semicolons at the end of your message. Or whatever key is right next to the send button. I don't remember. Is it the semicolon or what? It's the P. Think about all of the different ways that you have to be coordinated to make a beautiful sound. You gotta make sure you're breathing through the right hole. You gotta make sure that the muscles of your torso, just the right amount of turned on or turned off, that muscle harmony. You really gotta Goldilocks this, or else we're gonna know when the breath comes out. Not to mention, when you exhale, then we're thinking about tongue position, lip position, jaw position, language, text, lights, acting. Oh right, you gotta act while you do this whole thing too. There's probably a scary guy standing somewhere in front of you, maybe down, with a stick waving at you the whole time. Like, there's so much that has to go in, so many inputs, and we gotta make sure that our cerebellum and our brainstem are in tip-top shape to take all that in, interpret it, and then give the best possible output for 3 hours. But don't worry. Coordination is a general skill. That means that as you get more coordinated in one area, that will bleed out into other areas too. And that's the magic. But here's a quick coordination drill that might be a game changer for you. It's called a wrist figure 8. What you do is you start with your wrist at about sternum level. Take the face of that watch, or imagine you're wearing a watch if you're not, lift it up to the ceiling. Make sure the watch face is the highest part. Then the watch band is going to come down to the ground. See how much movement is happening in my wrist here? That's what's important. The most common mistake is it turns into a hand drill, even if your hand's in a fist. There's no movement in the wrist here. We call this not the drill. Once you master that, then you can graduate to left and right. If you need to, hold on to your knuckle. Make sure that the wrist is doing all the moving in the world. You can hold your knuckle, even give yourself a platform for your fingertips, and it'll all do the same thing. Once you've mastered that, you can do any shape in the world. So neurologically, to your cerebellum and your brainstem, the figure 8 is the most complicated. So we're gonna go up, in, down, center, up, out, down, center. It's more like a box, a couple of boxes at the beginning, but then you can start to smooth out those corners, smooth out those edges, and you've got a perfectly beautiful wrist figure 8. Remember, the most common mistake there is turning it into a hand drill and doing a hand figure eight, which is a different thing. It's not a bad drill, it's just not the one that we're going for. Remember the ABCs, you gotta be accurate. To get a little more detail, that wrist figure eight is an example of a proprioceptive drill, which uses your proprioceptive system, which along with your vestibular system and your visual system, make up the three most important parts of your foundation that get talked about constantly and trained constantly in athletes, but up until now have been ignored in singers. If you made it this far in the video, I can't wait to see you on Monday for more drills, and I would love to see your best wrist figure eights in the comments down below. I've been Ted from High Note Performance and the Triple Threat Athlete Crew. Go be great.